Hey home bakers, it's Jack here, bakewithjack.co.uk, bringing you your weekly bread making tip every single Thursday. And this week, the importance of a top and a bottom to your dough. Hey you guys, welcome back. It's another weekly bread making tip, and last week we spoke about slicing bread. I thought that was a really important thing to talk about. This week is all about the top and the bottom of your dough. Your dough has a top and a bottom, and this is something that to me is obvious to me, because of course it has a top and bottom. Why would it not have a top and a bottom? The top does what the top does and the bottom does what the bottom does, but it's not always obvious to everyone. And I feel like this is one of those penny drop moments. When I'm in a class teaching how to make bread and we're talking about making a top and a bottom, that is a bit of a penny drop moment for a lot of people, because that's how you get a good shape on the outside, a nice rise and all the rest of it, just by differentiating the top from the bottom. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. So your dough has a top and a bottom, and there's different properties to the top and the bottom, and it helps us out. Sometimes the top is underneath for a bit because you might flip it upside down to shape it, but the top is still the top, even if it's underneath, sometimes where it's upside down for a bit, right? The top is always non-stick. When you dust your dough during shaping, you dust it on the top only, because then the top doesn't stick. You're maintaining control of the stickiness of your dough. The top is always dusty and will never stick, and so therefore when you put your dough down onto your table, you always put it upside down so it doesn't stick to the table. Sticky side up. The sticky side, which is the underside, is so sticky because when you're making joins and folds, you need to stick those joins and folds to the same dough, to the sticky area. Therefore, all the folds and seams end up underneath, nicely hidden. For a more practical demonstration of this, there's a few shaping videos I've got on here. So have a little look. I'll put some links underneath or on the top or somewhere. Have a little look to some shaping up videos. Another reason why the top is because the top is where we always build the tension across the top. We build the tension across the top, and that's what holds a nice shape across the top. It's the tension across the top. It's almost like there's some like non-stick tension, tight skin on the outside holding all the dough in the middle in the right place. It's the restriction it gives upon the rest of the dough, so it only goes where you want it to go. In fact, sometimes if you shape it up too tight, that skin on the outside cracks. If you're making a roll or something and you roll it too tight, all of a sudden the outside will crack and it will turn into like the map of the world. It's not the end of the world, because what you can do is let that roll rest up for a bit, come back, reshape it and get the tension back, get the outside back, get the top back, get that skin back that holds everything in place. I feel like this is a really important part of the process that I always take for granted because it's obvious to me, but it's not obvious to all. So I thought I just wanted to explain it to you this week. The top is always the top and the bottom is always the bottom. It stays that way all the way until you put your bread into the oven. If you're making a bloomer, the top's back on the top again after you've rolled it up. Whatever you're making, the top is the top and the bottom is the bottom. After you finish kneading, when you put it into the bowl, that top is your top and the bottom is the bottom, and it stays that way through the whole process. Even though sometimes you might flip it upside down to shape it up again, the top always ends on the top. And once more, for an actual demonstration, go and check out a shaping video. They're all the same. The top is always the top and the bottom is always the bottom. I hope this video has helped you out today. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I'll bring you videos every single Thursday, and a lot of them are me talking like this, but there are practical ones. So go and check out the shaping up ones. I'll link them up underneath. Go and check them out, and don't forget to click subscribe if you don't want to miss me next week. And that's it. I'll see you next Thursday. Have a nice week. Bye.